Hello, this is Brad Wiseman. You're listening to Real Estate and You. We are back in the studio every Thursday at 1 o'clock or somewhere close to that. It's not always right on the dot, though, but we're realtors, so that's how things roll sometimes as realtors. So I have Pete Heim back in the office, in the studio. Boy, you can tell where I live most of my life, in the office. Holy mackerel. But we got Pete Heim here for Pete's point of view. That is pretty funny that I said that, right? I said back in the office.
Dude, that's weird.
And we have this awesome studio to talk about here. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
amazing, right? So Pete, you said you wanted to get right off the bat. You wanted to talk about where the market's going, but you had said about appreciation rates.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about that. So let's just jump right into it. We'll do that. And I know Hugo has a question then. So it'll be Hugo's question of the day, which we are starting to do pretty often.
Yeah.
Great. So go ahead. So what do we got? Where are we at?
So some of the latest stuff, actually within the last few hours, I got this.
So this is hot off the press.
We're hot off the press.
This is unbelievable.
Right. This is unreal.
It's like news. This news flash. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. What do you got, Pete?
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
So, we've had the strongest in history year-over-year January. Year over year,
really,
in appreciation rates, guys.
Oh, appreciation rates.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Graphic, first one.
Graphic,
figure one. If you look at this first figure, it's our year over year January 19.2.
19.2 year over year appreciation.
Yeah, year over year. That's three. Next one there, Hugo. Figure one. We want.
Hugo, get this.
That's it.
There we go.
Look at that jump. Okay. So,
oh my gosh. So what we're seeing here, just for the podcast purposes, we're seeing a jump from last January to this January. Is that right? We're seeing that?
Exactly. Year over year jump, 19.2%.
That is
unprecedented.
Crazy.
Unreal. And realtors out there, and well, if you're a buyer right now or seller, I mean, anybody who's on top of what's going on right now with the franticness of the multiple offers and all that plays right into that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're almost 20% year over year here.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, it has not loosened up as far as the amount of offers we get.
It really hasn't.
It's still pretty crazy. But we just look. You look today. I look today. My number said 296. Yours said 297. So we're not sure if we lost a listing or we got a listing. We're not sure depending on what time of day it was. But we're gonna go with the 296, 297 ish. It's still in the 300. And you know what? It's been like that since January.
It has.
It's actually even before January. We have not peaked. We have not gotten over 300 listings. Since I think Christmas.
And tell them what that means, though. What that really means is it's not balanced.
No, it's way off
is
balance.
2000-ish, and we're still way
off balance. Yeah, way off balance. And that's why we're getting 16 offers, 18 offers, whatever, and prices that are crazy. So,
but that plays right into that 19.2, folks. That's appreciation, 19.2%.
Amazing.
Year over year. Next graphic that Hugo has for us is the third. Yep, figure 3 it would be. And this one, I'm just ripping through next one there, buddy. Figure 3. Thank you. Okay, so since COVID, since March of 20,
the
United States has gained 31% in equity.
Since COVID.
Since COVID. Now, that's March of 20, right?
Right.
So it was crazy before COVID, if some of us remember. It was still kind of getting crazy, right? It was nuts. However,
it was going up.
Look at that Phoenix number.
Phoenix, so Phoenix is saying 50.9% appreciation since the beginning of COVID, right?
Doubled.
Since the beginning of COVID.
Doubled.
It's unbelievable. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And
but that's what's happening.
I'm the lowest is Chicago, and they still got 20%, for God's sakes.
So they got 20%, and that's the lowest. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And that's so basically, if you want to see the beginning of COVID, I'd say March 2020. Right?
That's exactly what it says.
Is that right?
Cumulative gains since March of 2020.
I didn't even see that.
Yep.
That's amazing.
That's very good, though. Brad.
Gosh darn,
you remember?
Sometimes.
I
remember. Yeah, we came into a new office and they said a week later you're shut down. It's like, no, that's not cool. Not cool.
That's going to be ingrained in there.
And I was pretty much a big proponent on opening up again. If you remember,
I do.
I got a little stir crazy.
I was with you.
I got yelled at many times.
Of course you did.
By many people.
So
moving on.
So that's those are the
big numbers.
Big numbers. I mean, and then the last of this article basically said, though widely anticipated, the inventory of for sale homes unfortunately does not look promising for this spring's home buying season. Okay, according to CoreLogic, new listings of for sale homes in March we're an average 25% below 2019 levels.
Wow.
So we're still, so it's still an inventory crisis.
Well, absolutely. And you know, it's we were down in Florida for Keller Williams for the family reunion, which is our convention. They said, don't expect this to be gone anytime soon. So if you think as a buyer, you're going to wait this out and you're going to get this basement bargain price next year or 2023, whatever, 24, I don't expect it. This is what they're saying now. What now you said before, the predictions are, you know, we were talking about that. They're not fact, they're predictions, they're educated opinions.
Yeah.
So they're saying this is at least a 5-year thing.
Right.
Because you can raise the rates, you can do whatever you want to do. But if people need a place to live, housing keeps going. I mean, you got to live somewhere.
You do.
And I think with the happening in the world today, and, you know, with Ukraine and, you know, our borders, we got tons of people coming in, and whatever you think about that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Whoever comes into this country, whichever way they come in, they need a place to put their head down at night.
That's it.
Okay. So we are going to have a situation of housing shortage for a long time.
And that's why the rental market is up 18%.
Exactly.
That's why, I mean, this is the thing that's going on. It's all inventory across the board.
Yep.
And it leaks into industrial space. It's leaking into other areas except the office.
Yeah. Well, and the commercial market's going to be a whole different thing. I still think we're going to see commercial properties. We're going to see a lot of availability in commercial properties after the large companies, when this whole thing happened, the large commercial companies, let's just say like a Nordstrom or like a Macy's or something like that.
Yeah.
When they move out of their buildings, they're still paying that lease.
Right.
Because it's cheaper for them to move it out, to shut it down, and not have to pay payroll, not pay all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not going to renege on the lease because that would put them into a foreclosure situation or a bankruptcy situation.
Right.
So let's just say they keep the lease going because it's cheaper to just have it empty.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Now what happens in 2 years or a year from now, when those leases come due or when they come for re-upping, I think you're going to see a lot of vacancies out there in commercial.
Well, there's going to be repurposing going on.
A lot of, absolutely.
Look at the malls. They're going to really start. I mean, they're dead.
They are.
I mean, I hate to see it.
But, I hate to see it too, but it's where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon and, you know, the delivery services we have today. I mean, why would I go somewhere to buy it? We don't have time.
Do you know who predicted this one? You know, talk about predictions.
Yeah, go ahead.
The economist Paul Zane Pilzer, back in 1999, predicted this.
No shit. Wow.
Empty malls.
Right.
People buying out of big warehouses. You know, delivered to their door. Swiping a ketchup bottle on a device on your counter, and he puts it on your shopping list.
Wow, isn't that something?
This is the kind of stuff he predicted. Yeah, and we're there. I mean, we could do that right now.
There. Yep, you know, we are there.
It's interesting, right?
It is very interesting. It's, you know, it's amazing how these things start to come about. So what else? Anything?
Go ahead. The last graphic goes right into what you just said.
Okay.
Waiting is going to lose you that much. There you are. If you wait, you're going to lose 996,343 and more equity gain from 2022 to 2027.
So waiting costs money.
Yep.
It does not save.
And the prediction is 2022. They're saying 9% now.
Okay.
And then it goes down because the rates are going up.
Yep.
2023, 4.7, 2024, 3.6, then down to what you and I call
normalcy.
Good, normal.
Yeah.
Good appreciation rates.
Yeah.
But that's what you're losing, 96 grand.
Yeah,
on a $360,000 house.
If you don't invest right now. So, and it's all relative. If you're buying a $200,000 house, it's relative.
Right. It's
all going to be percentage of what the gain is on that property.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's incredible. And I, like I said, I think a lot of us thought this was going to be a 1-year problem or a 2-year problem. I shouldn't say problem, challenge.
Yep.
1-year challenge, 2-year challenge. It is going to be probably a 5-year at least challenge. And there's not much that we can do to fix it. That's the thing. There's not much we can do. The only thing we can do is, and I'm going to be having the Chamber of Commerce, the head of the economic development. I'm having them in as a guest. And I also want to get some builders in here as a guest. I have Kevin Kozo coming in as a guest. And one of the things I think we need to work on as a community, not just local, but statewide and countrywide, we need to loosen up some of the ways of getting this land developed. We might even have to bring back some of the farmland we preserved, and start talking about some smart growth on that land. If we're not using it for farming, or if we're not using it for this or that, let's use some of that land. We got to go somewhere. I mean, there's got to be somewhere to go with this. So, and I know that the Chamber of Commerce, and I talked to somebody there before, they're concerned. You know, if you want to try and bring business into the area, they got to have a place to live.
I think
know?
I think it's going to be like it falls into the repurposing of malls, office spaces, putting them into residential area more because if everyone's going to be working from home or a good majority of people working from home, why not repurpose?
Right, exactly. That's true.
There's a lot of different ways that we're going to be able to do it.
So the commercial space you could turn into apartments.
Exactly.
It's a good idea.
Office
And I think obviously, I think you could use that. Absolutely. And repurpose it for condos or whatever.
Yep.
It's got as many people into a square mile as possible. So we're not using up maybe some of the farmland. But I think it's an all-encompassing approach. Just kind of like our energy situation. Should be wind, solar, oil, gas, all that stuff.
Right.
You know, it should be everything.
Yep.
Let's go with the everything plan. Let's put the net out real big and grab it all, right? Yeah, grab it all. Yeah. So okay, now we solved all the problems of the world. What do you want to talk about next?
I want to talk about prediction on interest rates. Everyone, you guys have been watching this podcast.
I predict they're going to go to 5%. Oh, shoot. That's right. They did. Well, you know, that wasn't a prediction then. That's Swami. A fact.
It's like the old Johnny Carson Swami.
Exactly. So no, rates are at 5.
They're at 5. And guys, we talked about the experts predicting a max of 3.7 by the end of the year.
Where'd that go?
Yeah. And I think looking at the overall picture of what the Fed did, I think they have bigger fish to fry. I thought they looked at an industry and say, what industry can we slow up right now? Oh, real estate. Yeah. Let's slow it down to try to perk up some of the other things. Yeah. I mean, the appreciation rate on groceries and gas and stuff like that is just crazy. Out of sight.
It's crazy.
So I think they had to do something. And I think it feels like a desperation move to me almost. Yeah. But I don't know. But they're
Speaking
saying,
of
they were saying 0.2 by every quarter.
Right. And now
but it flew.
Yeah.
It flew up to it's 5%
and I think
now.
Maybe Ukraine had some pressure on that.
Right.
Maybe.
It could have,
what do you think? Ukraine, I think and I think because everything else is going up. I mean, you know, you got to think that they're thinking, hey, you know, I might as well raise the rates. And maybe it will slow up the market a little bit. Maybe less buyers will be out there, which will then slow up the appreciation of homes. You know, maybe that will happen.
I have a prediction on that.
What's that?
I think it gets to 6. We're going to start to see a major bit of an ease here.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
2,000 homes coming on the market and staying on the market. I'm talking more of a
less buyers,
an ease in, right?
Less buyers.
Well, it's going to throw some people out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I have a guy already. He didn't get a house 2 years ago. He threw him out.
Yeah,
he's out.
Exactly.
So that's going to start to happen more. Yeah. I think 6 is the number.
Yeah, and it's funny how that works too, because you know, I have a girl that I'm working with. She's moving down into the Chester Montgomery area, and this is how rates affect. It's a double whammy for her. She started looking at homes at 3.75%, right? It was a year ago. We couldn't find anything. We put in several offers and just never landed anything. Okay. She took a break because she was like, I got discouraged, took a break. Now she comes back 6 to 8 months later, or almost a year later. Okay. Rates have now gone from 3.75 to 5. Okay. And what we were looking at before at 300,000 is now looking like junk. Like that stuff looked good before, but now that stuff is the fixer-upper stuff. So now she's got to be at 350 in order to get the same quality, same amenities that she wanted before at 300, and her rate now went up by a 1.75%, 1.25, 1.5, whatever it is.
Right.
So just think about that expense. She's going to pay a lot. Now, it was a lot of because she couldn't get a house. There it is.
She
exactly. Yeah. So isn't that something that just shows you right there how waiting, even though you can get discouraged, the more you wait now in this market, the more you're gonna spend.
That's right.
And it's going to cost you. I mean, the rate starts to cost. When you start talking 3.75 to 5%, that starts to make a difference in your payment. Yeah. That's
$50-$60 almost. Yeah. I guess, right?
Yeah. Probably even a little bit more.
Maybe a little more.
Depending on price range.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was something I saw cool that we can just chat about real quickly. Was on Keeping Current Matters, which we love to bring up. And I
love those guys.
I pay for this on this, so you know we can bring it up.
They rock.
They do. What was cool is that, you know, in this market, it was a buyer thing, and you might have even read it. It was talking about, you know, first thing you figure out is your budget. Okay. When you're looking in this market, the next thing is to figure out what's important to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And it talks about the must-haves. Okay. The nice-to-haves. Okay. And I changed this one a little bit. I don't like the way they had quoted it. The awesome-to-haves. Because the must-haves are basically, you got to have it. Bedrooms because you have kids or whatever. You have to have a 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom. I got to have a garage because I have this and this. Yeah. And then it goes into the nice-to-haves. which is basically you're like, it'd be great if I had this, but if I don't have it, I can figure something out and make it work. And then it talks about obviously your awesome to haves, which is basically your icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It's really tough in this market to get your awesome to haves.
Yeah. It's zero every time.
And really, I think what you should be thinking about most of the time in this market are your must-haves.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to really, really think about what is it? What are those things that you absolutely cannot be negotiated out of because of your personal situation?
That's a great way to
if you need one floor living, you either need that or you don't.
Right. Exactly.
So if you need that, that's a must-have.
Right.
So something to categorize. What do you think?
Great tip.
Yeah. Isn't that way you would look at it?
Back in the old days, we used to say if you get 80% of what you're looking for, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think we would.
It kind of falls into that.
Absolutely does. Yeah.
But the must-haves, I think people should focus on the must-haves.
You got to get the must-haves
because everything else, like if it doesn't have central air,
you can put it in. You can put it in. You can do window units for a little bit.
Does it have a fireplace?
But if it's in the right location, and it has the bedrooms you need, those are the must-haves right there. Location and bedrooms and size of the home for your family. What do you need?
I totally
or for yourself. Yeah.
Just take that advice, everyone. That's excellent.
Yeah, advice. That was on Keeping Current Matters. They do a great job with that stuff. So anything else before we put an end to this? You had a question. Go ahead, Hugo.
I love this question.
Hugo's question of the day.
When the homeowner disagrees with the appraisal, who has the final authority? Can the homeowner appeal that decision, or how does that process work?
Okay, so you want to answer that question? I mean, you can answer if you want.
Oh, go ahead and answer it, and I'll have a comment after that.
Answering. Okay, so this is what I say. Basically, he or she who does the appraisal has the final say.
Yep.
They are the ones that have the right or the willingness to go with what you're appealing it at. It's very, very hard for you to get that appeal. Very hard to get it appealed. And I'll tell you why, because they have to admit that they did something wrong. And I understand this. I mean, nobody wants to admit they did something wrong, but then they're saying to the underwriter, to the lender, hey, I didn't do my job right. Who wants to say that to basically who they're doing the work for? Mm-hmm. So it's hard. Comes down to the appraiser too, right? I mean, the personality of the appraiser. I mean, there's some that will be like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, you're right. I missed that. Not a big deal. I'll adjust it for you. But some will say, no, my answer is the answer. That's it.
Yep.
But the answer is it's the appraiser.
It is definitely up to the appraiser.
Yeah.
We know that we also agreed that there were some willing to change and some aren't willing to change.
Yes.
There's something. I have a tip.
What's the tip?
It's a very good tip.
Go ahead.
If you get a willing and open appraiser,
mm-hmm.
to listen to something I'm going to say right now.
Yeah.
And appraisers, if you're listening right now and you're a good one, you will get this.
Okay.
You will understand this and you will agree to this.
I'm a little nervous. How about you? You nervous?
Yeah, I know.
He's nervous. Holy crap. This could be the end of the show.
Okay. And that's a wrap.
You're not going to piss people off.
Go with that.
Oh my God. Come on. Don't do that to us.
Next week.
Okay. We just went over things like 19.2% year over year, stuff like that. If there is, and appraisers, God love them, really, because they're having a hard time finding comps. Very difficult, especially on specific neighborhoods. They got to maybe reach out a little bit more.
Yep.
Sometimes they have to go to older comps.
Yep. Or way outside the area,
way outside the area. Older comps. Are you ready, appraisers? If you have a year-old comp, you got to tack on 20%.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Because of progression, regression.
Absolutely. And I think they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to do that.
They are, but some aren't willing to do it.
Gotcha.
But
it's not normal anymore. It wasn't normal.
It wasn't normal.
No.
But there are some willing to do that. So listen, guys, if you have to appeal an appraisal, look at the age of the comps and figure out what the appreciation rate was for that time. Even if it's 3 months, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
It'll help you out.
I agree.
Okay.
You hear the music coming in.
I do.
Sorry. That means we're up to a hard break here.
Shut up, Pete.
Shut up, Pete music. That's what it's called. All right. Thanks so much, Pete, for coming in today. Thanks for your point of view. We really do appreciate it. All right. See you next time. There we go. Cool. Let me go off of live.